how might the upcoming meeting impact the current situation in Lebanon, especially after the White House announced the extension of the ceasefire until the mid of February, sir?
We see very discouraging signs regarding Lebanon because, first of all, as you just said, the ceasefire was extended to the 18th of February because the Israelis wouldn't withdraw from many parts of southern Lebanon, and when the villagers and the locals tried to go back to their villages, the Israeli army opened fire, killing over 25 innocent unarmed civilians, another criminal endeavor by the Israeli army of occupation. And now the reports say that Israel seeks to maintain a permanent military presence inside certain border areas inside southern Lebanon on the border with Israel, basically on 5 strategic hills inside southern Lebanon. And the reports so far indicate that the Trump administration is open to this proposition. So this means that the Americans might be open for a permanent Israeli occupation of some parts of southern Lebanon. Even if it's only the border areas, this would create a recipe for disaster and the casus belli for future conflicts in southern Lebanon. And it seems that Netanyahu, one of his objectives also, will be to secure U.S. endorsement and support of this issue. It seems that the U.S., that at least certain circles within the United States decision-making circles do agree with Netanyahu's propositions. Others are opposed to it. I think Trump is the one who will settle this issue and decide whether Netanyahu and the Israelis can maintain a permanent or a long-term occupation of Lebanese territories or not. Especially that this
Dr. Osman,
back into war.
Dr. Osman, the extension of the ceasefire that took place in Lebanon, of course, Netanyahu is okay with and approved. Don't you think that Netanyahu's visit to the White House and being the first foreign official to visit the White House and visit U.S. President Donald Trump would or might sabotage the second phase of the ceasefire that's taking place in Gaza now?
It might. That's not a given. However, it's very possible because Trump is very malleable and is very easily influenced by someone like Netanyahu. And certainly the scenes in which Hamas transferred the detainees to the International Committee of the Red Cross, and these shows they put on, these spectacles and the armed parades that they have conducted, in my opinion, this was very provocative and irresponsible, and actually gives Israel many pretexts in order to resume the war. Now they will say, oh, Hamas, we did not destroy Hamas yet. Hamas still maintains its formations, its military formations and its power. So therefore, we have to go back to war in order to dismantle it, Mr. Trump. Help us, Mr. Trump. We are in danger and those terrorists will kill us, quote unquote. This is what the silly old song that Netanyahu will sing in Trump's ear during this visit. Will Trump buy into this narrative? It's possible. And if it's possible, that means that the ceasefire inside Gaza might not survive to see the end of the second phase. And that's why Hamas is hinting that they might be, that they are considering keeping some of the live detainees in their custody throughout the second and third phases of the ceasefire in order to ensure that Trump will not allow Netanyahu to go back into open hostilities, because it seems that Trump is keen, first of all, and first and among everything, to secure the release of all the Israeli detainees, especially those who carry U.S. citizenships. And one of them was released yesterday.
Sure, sir. Mr. Maharem, what long-term effects could this visit have on achieving lasting peace in the region, sir?
Well, I think it's not a matter of how long, how many days, but how many officials he is going to meet Benjamin Netanyahu, and what preparation have done.
How many officials Benjamin Netanyahu is going to meet?
Absolutely, apart from the President Trump. He will meet Trump on Tuesday, but effective Monday, tomorrow, he will meet so many officials. Plus, we don't forget the influence, the big influence of AIPAC. AIPAC has 3 million in the side of America. How big they support Israel financially, politically, So I think before his visit, before his plane landed to Washington, D.C., I think there is a big preparation have been taking place. But I think this time, administration of Trump are very careful to listen to him and not let him to do exactly what he did before with President Biden, because Trump is keen interest somehow to help Israel, but not to lose his very important allies in the Middle East. His objective within his 4 years in the White House to achieve as what other presidents like President Carter and President Bill Clinton, they have achieved something tangible in the Middle East. I think Trump is keen interest to do something huge to achieve kind of peaceful in the area. And meanwhile, his interest to be sometimes suggested to be a Nobel Prize